Good morning. It is the morning break. I am Rob Patz. It has been way too long. It has been way too long. Who knew when we took our Christmas break for the week of Christmas that we wouldn't be back for a while. Anyway, it was a terrible week last week. Not going to blame anybody. Comcast. No, it wasn't Comcast. I'm sorry. I live in the wrong place now. Spectrum. It's everything seems to be at least slightly worked out. Though I am not in my normal studio today. I am getting a chance to be here and do it here in the office today because of said situation. But hey, it's good to be back. How was your holiday? Did you have a great holiday? It was amazing. I don't care. People say as you get older, it gets worse, that you don't enjoy the holiday as much. I don't know what that's about. I enjoy it. Of course, my wife says I act like a kid, so that could be it also. Could be. I don't know. Could be the reason. But I enjoyed the holiday season, had a great time with my wife. We had some time off and got a chance to just hang out, got a chance to be with family, which was fantastic, and celebrate a Christmas season. You know what? The one thing though, and I want to thank our great sponsors, by the way, 7 Weeks Coffee. If you haven't ordered yet, you should. Now here, I want to tell you something. It's so important to think about this when you're doing your ordering, is thinking about the company that you're supporting. 7 Weeks Coffee believes like we do. In fact, just about a year ago, my wife found them online and connected with one of the owners. After that, we met in person, got a chance to meet them, and it was just super great people. And here's the deal. If you've never had small batch, small roast coffee, you are missing out. I am a coffee guy. I love coffee. I get coffee for Christmas. That's how much I love coffee. Now, when we were going to order, because we ordered before, because here's the thing. I never go into buying or being a part of something without testing it first before I tell you about it. And this was great coffee. And I went, here's what I do. I told my wife, I said, I like dark roast. Get me dark roast. We'll be perfectly fine. It's going to be great. I love dark roast. My wife goes, no, let's get a variety pack. And I'll tell you, your first order should be a variety pack. Get all four, try them out. Just because I love a dark roast coffee, and seriously, I need some right now. Just because I like dark roast doesn't mean you have to like dark roast, or that you should, because there's morning blend. There's so many other great ones. There is a medium coffee blend that is really good. And if I wasn't a dark roast fan, liking my coffee with a little attitude, that would be what I would get. Hey, I want to thank, by the way, Jody Powell for stepping in yesterday, still having those issues. And Jody did a fantastic job. Jody was there with Mondays with Molly and did a great job. I appreciate Jody so much. You can check out a couple of shows he does. He does a show called Falls Count Anywhere, a wrestling show on the network every Monday at 7 p.m. He also is the host of a great new show we're excited about called Men Like Us. It is a monthly show and a roundtable talking about men's issues, life, what it's like to be a dude and be a Christian. That's like super important. So Jody, thank you so much again, sir, for filling in yesterday. I jokingly told him he was my Jay Leno and I'm of course Johnny Carson. We both agreed that nobody would get that because when I was a little kid, Jay Leno used to fill in for Johnny Carson. So yeah, that's it. Hey, listen, it is National Plan Your Travel Day. So for my family, very important. We love to travel, but we also, besides doing a family trip with Kristen's mom and dad and her brother and our sister-in-law and my niece, We do other trips throughout the year, and Chris and I, love to travel. We do. We love being on the road, flying, exploring new places. We love it all. So today is your day. Plan your trip, do something like that. By the way, time for a look in with the great folks at My Snacky. There they are. It's the My Snacky look in. We're at Deerfield Beach in Florida. Though it does look a bit how do we say that? It looks a bit overcast. I wouldn't complain if I was there. Remember to go to my snackies, my-snackies.com and order some great freeze-dried candy. They have all kinds of stuff. Go check them out. Great people. Donnie Young and his wife do an amazing job there. It's my snacky look in here on the morning show with Rob Patz. It's great to be here. Man, it is good to be back. And so many cool things. Have you planned your trip yet? How are you doing on your New Year's resolutions? Yesterday was National Quitters Day. Did you quit? I hope not. I hope you're still going strong. We're doing the Daniel fast, my wife and I, and trust me, there have been days, ladies and gentlemen, the struggle is real. I'm thankful, though, for my coffee. When we come back, Vivian Cumins is with us, and we're going to talk about life in general, her cool glasses, and all kinds of neat stuff, including her books. We'll do that after this.
Behind every precious life, there was a choice. Behind every family moment, behind every special memory, there was a choice. A life of joy. A life that is beautifully and wonderfully made. At 7 Weeks Coffee, we are funding the pro-life movement, one cup at a time. Will you let your coffee serve a greater purpose?
Thanks to great folks at 7 Weeks Coffee. That's 7weekscoffee.com. Use the promo code ATV10 when you order. Not if, but when. You should order like today. Grab some coffee and start your week right. It's Tuesday, but it's still early in the week. Monday, I think should be a throwaway day. I don't think we should really. I think we should just work Tuesday through Thursday. Take Friday off. And I don't know. I don't know about you, but I'm excited to have our guest with us today. Vivian Cumins is here with us. Vivian, give me a reason for the cool glasses.
Because I'm in my 50s and I need readers on top of my contacts. And so I figure if I need the readers, I might as well try to be cute.
I love them. I've worn glasses my whole life, and I love the red glasses. It's very bold.
Thank you. I love red. Red's my favorite color. It's my signature color. I have the coolest pair of red Austin boots. I don't have them on right now, but yeah, I love red.
For those of us that don't know what red Austin boots are, please share with us, because there's a good part of the population that probably doesn't know.
Well, I'm from Oklahoma originally, Oklahoma, Texas area. And so I love a good pair of boots. And a couple years ago, my husband went to Austin and I went to Austin for Valentine's Day. And we went into the Austin boots and they were there on the shelf. And, light just kind of shined on them. It just called my name.
It was one of those moments. It was like, oh.
It really was. And so I was just like floated over to them. I put them on. And here's the funny thing, Rob. So I was looking at myself in the mirror in them, and like all these couples were coming in and they were like stopping and staring at these boots. And they're like, you've got to get them. And I'm like, I do. So I did.
And I think in all seriousness, and we're being funny, but truthfully, I think God gives us the desires of our heart.
That's
and
right.
Sometimes those things are there. By the way, Austin, one of my favorite places to go eat. There are parts of town that kind of sometimes seem challenging with the traffic, but I do love good food in Austin. If you get a chance, go to Austin. We're talking about, hey, have you planned any trips for this year? Because today is
Yes.
National Plan Your Trip Day.
Yes, I actually was reading up on that this morning, and it talks about planning, not just planning where you're going, but planning what you're gonna wear when you get there and shopping and stuff like that. And we actually are in 3 weeks, we are going to the San Antonio, Austin area because that's we just love that area. And, we're gonna spend 7 days there, and, so we've already got it planned out, but I don't have my outfits ready. So that's on my to-do list is I've gotta get some outfits. I don't know what I'm gonna get yet, though.
I'm thankful that somebody else knows this. So we're going NRB is coming up, and
Yep.
you'll hear me talk about that. National Religious Broadcasters will talk about me. I talk about it on the show. Um, but we're that's coming up in February in Nashville.
Mhm.
And people give me heat about this, but I plan like the whole
Oh,
like
yeah.
we're there Sunday through Friday. And like I have everything planned because we're doing TV. So
Mhm.
you've got to be mindful because you don't want
Yes.
to wear the same thing because that happens. My wife and I do a show on the network together, which is really a cool show because she's very much more Christian than I am. Mine, as you can tell, the show is pretty much just woo, we do everything. It's kind of like,
Yeah.
and she keeps me grounded. But I'm like, it's so funny. I said there are obviously people that think I have one shirt because I wore the same shirt in 3 different shows. Because you record and
Oh,
then,
yeah.
your head and you forget then, so you start then having to go look. So anyway, I'm planning out my this year so we don't have a repeat of last year where I wore the same, interview
I
outfit,
love it.
like, 4 times. But no, I
Mhm.
wanna talk about you've got so much going on. You've podcast and you've written, and we've got sort of a book in the picture.
Oh, here, I got more.
Behind
Here, I can put them in there. You want me to do it? You want me to
yeah,
flash
do
them
that.
up there?
Grab
All
those
right, I
books.
got 2
Do that.
books. I got 2
Okay,
books.
there we go.
This one's Break Down Better, 52 Restoring Devotionals for Burned Out Women, and then its companion is A Better Way, and this is the Breakdown Better Guided Journal. So I got 2 out there.
I love that, and I love what you do. Give everybody kind of what went into you writing books, 'cause I don't think there are a lot of people, though I get to interview authors on occasion who say, "This is what I was called to do. I was called to be just an author." What made you decide? Were you called to be an author, and is that why you wrote the books? Or did the writing the books come out of another part of your ministry or what you were doing? Or tell our viewers.
Well, I believe so I have the date written down, it's on my cork board up here. December 18th, 2018, I believe God called me to write, but I thought that I was supposed to write my husband's story. So my husband, I always tell him, "Your story needs to either be on a shelf or on Netflix, one of the 2, because he's got an amazing story, history with motocross, and when he was young, he would have these motocross accidents and a guardian angel. He didn't even know it was a guardian angel, but a guardian angel would visit him. And I'm like, dude, this has to be in a book. So on that day, we were driving down the highway. We were living in Utah down I-35. And I looked at him and I said, I think God's calling me to write your book. And he's like, oh gosh. And then he says, you know what? I have the same feeling. I even have a name for the title. So I was like, oh, that's confirmation. So for years, I started writing. I have like 300 pages of my husband's story, and it's just hilarious. It's so good. But then I hit a roadblock. And so a lot of things happened in between there. And one of the things that happened in that time frame was in 2020, I had a mental breakdown due to
Mm.
stress and burnout. And I also was going through cancer. And so I had a lot of stuff going on in my life. And that's where me and God got really, really up close and personal. And but the writing for my husband's story just kind of stopped. And my husband told me one day, he's like, "Hey, babe, have you ever thought that maybe you're writing your own story right now? And maybe that's the story that needs to be told first?" And I was like, okay. And so from 2018 up until December 30th of last year when I published these books, I was journaling. And a lot of those journal entries of what I was going through and what God was showing me about burnout and breakdown and how so many women are going through the same thing. Their situation might be a little bit different, but we're all dealing with some of the same issues. I just took a lot of those journal entries and God downloaded scripture and God downloaded antidotes and stories that ended up going into this devotional. And then once the devotional trilogy from TBN, they're a subsidiary of TBN, they picked up the book. And once that was done and they had the manuscript, then God is just like, make a devotional journal excuse me, a guided journal to go with it, because I want women to dive deep into the why they are burned out and having breakdowns to begin with. And I want to restore them like I restored you. And so I wrote that guided journal. I retired from the government in March, and from March of last year to December, I was able to write a second book. I mean, God downloaded it just like that fast, and it got published on the same day as the devotional. So it was meant to be. It was meant.
Don't you love that when God does that, when he like downloads stuff in your
Yeah.
life? And that's one of the things I want to be more intentional. I've been thinking about that actually, because we're doing the Daniel fast, my wife and I. And so we're in that midst of doing a lot of prayer about that.
Mhm.
We're because we're not eating, which is like one of my favorite things to do.
Yeah.
I love to eat. But I want to talk to you about something, and it's something you brought up, right?
Mhm.
The mental breakdown
Mhm.
situation.
Mhm.
And so many times as Christians, it's kind of been, in our age, especially you and I, because we're in the same age range, that was kind of taboo to talk about
Yeah.
in church.
Yeah.
And there may be a lot of women out there and men that are carrying that where they don't want to talk about it. Give them a couple pieces of advice as to how to step out and say, hey, listen, mentally, I'm just not in a good place right now.
Mhm. Yeah, the thing is that yes, it has been taboo, and it was taboo for me in my circles too, because I've been a very strong career-driven female, and any type of emotion or mental instability was viewed as weakness in the workplace, and you know what I mean? And so you just kind of keep that quiet and you keep it to yourself until it builds up until your body just breaks down. And that's what happened with me. Is I had so many years of striving and stress that the burnout just built up so much that physically I was becoming very ill. I had heart palpitations. I passed out at home one time because my heart was beating so quickly and stuff. And so it just really starts resonating in your spirit and your physical and mental well-being. So I mean, I'm telling women and men too, seek help. Number one, seek God's face.
Mhm.
Call out to him. My story began on the floor of my living room, that's where I had my complete breakdown, and just was sobbing. And Rob, I tell in my books, I was begging God to take me home, because I knew that I was striving and doing all of this stuff to myself, because I'm very type A, I'm very driven, and I knew that unless he fixed it, right? I wasn't going to be able to fix it. And if he ain't going to fix it, then you might as well just send me on up to heaven, because I can't live like this.
Mhm.
And so I think my advice to people is, number one, it's okay. It is okay. We are in such a fallen, stressful world that if you're not going through some kind of a mental struggle, I would almost question that, because it's like there's just always something being thrown at us. So I would say acknowledge it, know that you are not alone, that we are all dealing with it, and then invite God into it. As soon as you are like, okay, God, this is what's going on with me, invite God into it, because he wants to be there to help restore you.
I think that, and one thing you said, and I think it's so the world we live in is so full of stressors.
It is.
If you live in the world and you have social media, everything stresses you out. And I had to, I will tell you this, we took our holiday during the holiday season, and I wasn't on social media very much. And I'll tell you this, I felt less stressed.
I know. I
Isn't that
know.
terrible? Because part of my
Mhm.
career is made via social media. So if anybody's looking for a client to help them with their content, no, just kidding. Uh, but no,
Yeah.
so you wrote the books and now you have a podcast too.
Mhm.
How did that
Mhm.
evolve? How did you get into doing the podcast?
So I've had the podcast now for almost 2 years, and it's called Juggling Life, Finding Balance. And that kind of came. I don't know. I had a writing coach that said, "Hey, Viv, you've got a personality, you've got a message, and why don't you think about doing a podcast?" And I was like, "Huh, all right." And so I did, and I bring on women who are just normal women like myself, but they have amazing stories. They have amazing stories of things that they've gone through that God has helped them through, and we're just talking about how do you balance life, how do you do work and family, and how do you take care of your husband and your kids. I mean, we just talk about all the things, and it's just so nice to know that we're not alone, right? And these are normal women out there that are going through the same exact things, and they're sharing what worked for them, and we're just kind of trying to empower women to take a look at around you and figure out, okay, where are my sisters at that are going through the same things that I can pair with to help me get through this season of life. And so that's what we talk about, and just very fun, and we have a great time.
The one thing I think that we as Christians need to really pray about more is community. Now we have church, and that's a
Mhm.
great place to, you need to be plugged into your church. I'm not saying that, but I really, and my wife and I have been praying about this for the last year, is a community of people. And the world we
Mhm.
live in now, they don't have to live in your town.
Right.
Your community, your people, your core, and whatever you want to call it. And so I love what you're doing, because it really brings a place of, hey, listen, if you're struggling with this is what I went through, like your books. And
Right.
we want to give one more plug. Pull them back up again.
Oh,
Let's
oh,
make sure
thanks.
before we get through the
Okay.
show, because I always
Yeah.
forget. There we go.
There's the one, and there's the other.
And then go to your
Yay.
website. Give me your web.
Yes. My website is viviancumins.com, and you can get the books there. I have some devotionals. So I write a lot of devotionals, and I have about 5 of them now on the YouVersion app. And so you can go to YouVersion, or you can go to my website and go there. And there's just lots of cool stuff there. Blog, all the things. Go there
Oh,
and
you have a blog on
hang
your
out with me.
website too. So
I
what's your
do.
latest blog? What's your latest blog entry? I'm gonna put you on spot here.
Oh my gosh. So I did a thing. Oh, Rob, I have a whole nother story, and I don't know how much time we have, but
We got about
during my
3 minutes.
okay, I'll go fast.
Okay.
So during this writing journey, when I was hitting roadblocks and stuff like that, I was getting really frustrated with God. And on a walk one day, I found a folded up piece of paper, and I opened it up. I have it on my cork board, and it says, "Imagine, publish, super letter one day," and it's in child's handwriting. And I felt that was God telling me, "Hey, you are going to have something's going to be published someday, and imagine it with me," right? And so I carried that around with me for so many years. And so I wrote a series of 5 blog posts about each word. Imagining with God, when He puts a dream in your heart. Publish means in my world, it meant make it public. Tell people what I've done for you. Super is excellence. And sometimes excellence means it must incubate in the presence of God. And so it was taking me a long time to write and get these materials out. But I read a quote one time where any lasting kingdom building requires incubation in the presence of the Lord. Um, Letter was devotionals to me are God's love letters to us. And then one day is that whole one day is the last devotional I wrote, but it's the timing. And so, God planted this dream of writing in my heart in 2018, but it incubated since then. And my one day was December 30th of 2025 when those books came out into the world.
See, I love what you said there, and I think that people look and it causes stress as they look
Mhm.
around and go, look, these people over here, they're doing this, and
Yes.
and they're doing it like now, and I'm hey, listen, I will tell you, my wife has had to hold my hand on a couple occasions and go, it's okay, Rob. Looks like not fair. Why are they?
Stop.
But it's an incubation. I love
Yeah.
that it is a growth period, and nothing we do is quick. It really
Right.
isn't. And
Right.
and and I think God
It
wants us
won't
to
last. It won't
know.
last if you throw it together fast.
And I think too, and I want to this is something, and I would think Vivian could agree with me on, is sometimes though, we're praying about something. God sometimes wants us to take even that first step,
Mhm.
because it shows, and this is he's been dealing with me with this, because this show, was a year and a half ago, and we've only that he put it in my heart, and it took me till 3 months ago to actually start doing it because I kinda didn't wanna I was like, "Well, God, if you open the door," and finally one day he went, "Yeah, the door's open if you're ready to walk." 'Cause
Yeah,
and
take
it was like, "Oh," that was it really hurt because I was praying, and he goes, "Listen, the door is open, but you gotta walk through it. You can't just stand there."
yeah, absolutely. Yes, take that first step. Take it.
And get to the point where I love that you're taking action, and I want to have you back because there's so much that we could talk about
Love it.
with this because you're talking my language, and so you got a cork board, which by the way is also my language. I love having that. So,
Is
so
that what they're
uh,
called? Cork boards? I don't
it
even know.
is, yeah, yeah.
Okay.
So one last question though. So do you make lists on a piece of paper and like to check them off?
Amen. 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 Yes, I have
I have a
them.
legal pad, and the
Oh,
most excitement I can have during the day is, like, checking something off. It's like, "Whoop,
do you
that was."
know that if I do something that's not on the list, I will write it on the list so I can
Oh,
check it off? I need help.
so
Rob, that's
you're my
not
wife
right.
then. You are my wife. She does that. She has her list, and she'll be like, "I didn't have this down," but and I'm like,
I
"I don't
did
think
it
you can
though.
do that. I think that's
Yeah, you
cheating. I don't
can.
think that's no, I don't think
You
it's in the but it is so good. Hey, hold the books up one more time. I wanna give them one more plug.
Thank you
You
so
need
much.
you need to go check out her books, and also you need to go check out her
Yay.
podcast. Where can people find your podcast?
It's everywhere. They can go to YouTube, they can download it on all the Spotify, all the things, but if you go to my website, viviancumins.com, it'll log you over to everything, so
Okay,
come
cool.
join me.
The link will be in the show notes, so you can find that out. Hey, listen, it has been so much fun. I this is great. She was supposed to be on last week when we had all the problems, if you heard
Mhm.
the start of the show, but God had a great timing for this, and it's awesome for you to be here. Thanks so much for being with us on today's edition. Stick around after the break, and I want to talk to you for just a quick second. But listen, go out, have a great day, do everything you want to do because God is with you. And this has been your morning break.